Hey, Mohawk X student leaders, welcome. It's a pleasure to see you all. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this. It's going to be a brief summary of how to be fearless. It's one of the most important understandings I've gained through my dive into myself and through deeper understandings of life. And I think a great example of what this encompasses is something I was reading about Ronald Reagan's daughter talking about him and saying, "You taught me to not be afraid of things." And he responded by laughing and saying, "There's nothing to be afraid of." And that is such a important distinction to make and to understand and become aware of. When we think of being afraid, what do we do sometimes? We try to psych ourselves up, or the idea of think happy thoughts comes to mind. And so, what does that mean? That means it's all in our head. If the way to get through fear is to alter our thinking, that means that all the fear we experience is just due to the thoughts we are having in our head. There's nothing outside of us that's causing this fear. And that's huge. That's huge to realize. Think about it and soak in it for a moment or two, because that creates a massive distinction between, am I in danger, or am I just using my imagination in a harmful way to scare myself? And then that opens up so much freedom in our lives, because we can start realizing, oh, just because I'm afraid doesn't mean there's any reason to not take action or to try this thing, because we can now understand it's just going on inside us. It's our imagination creating our own horror movie. It's like drawing on a piece of paper a scary monster and then actually getting afraid of it and running out of the room. That's all that's happening in our head. Our imagination is our canvas. And when we see that, we can much more gracefully move through fear and start to take things on without paying attention to whether we feel fear or not. We can transcend through needing courage and needing to psych ourselves up, build ourselves up in order to power through this fear, and instead notice that the fear is happening and go, oh, this isn't real. This isn't something that I need to stop me, and then transcend it and move forward boldly, fearlessly. And so think about that. And who would you be if you decided to ignore any fearful feelings, fearful thoughts you had? What types of actions would you be taking? What would you be doing with your days, with your interactions with other people, if you decided to be oblivious to your fears? And what that does is it allows you to much more readily step into the present moment. And then at the same time, we don't need to worry so much, because it's so much more clear on whether something's actually dangerous and we need to take precautions against it, or if it's just something that we're uncomfortable doing or fearful of having go wrong. it's that's what's so important. It's just going, all right, what would I do? Who would I like to be or behave like if I was fearless? If fear wasn't a real thing? And where that shows up a lot for me is in how I interact with people. When I'm fearless, I get to completely and fully open up. I get to be able to look anyone at all in the eyes and say, I love you. I think you're beautiful. You are perfect. You are a truly magical, rich soul. And I can do that because I don't need to pay attention to any fears of discomfort or rejection or abnormality, because I understand that those are just my imagination spinning things in my head. And so I get to fully be present for someone. I get to fully open up and say, hey, I'm not afraid. You can deeply bond with me if you want to. And if you're insecure, if you're scared of doing that, that's fine. You don't need to, but I'm here open and willing to bond with you. And there's nothing that can hinder that, because I've let go of the fears that would stop me under previous circumstances. And it's an incredible way to deepen relationships, to create relationships, to connect with people so powerfully when you can fully love uninhibited and unconditionally. Another place that it comes up for me is in the things I choose to do. If I am afraid of taking action, I'm going to find a way to distract myself. I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to play a video game, watch TV, because I'm afraid of actually doing what I would love to be doing. It seems overwhelming to actually let myself be free to chase the things that I would find joy in chasing, to work towards building and creating the dreams that I have deep within me and would love to experiment and see if I can bring forth into the world. But if I can realize that those fears are just in my mind, they're just my imagination. There's nothing truly dangerous about setting myself free, about letting myself dive into the actions that I want to actually take, the person I actually want to be. And so, what is that for you? If there was no fear in you, what are 5 things that you would absolutely do? Who are the people that you would love to become? You can. There's no danger in doing that. You're totally free to do that. And you're totally free to enjoy it fully, to just feel completely in bliss, in fun, laughing, singing, dancing. You get to do all those things when you're not afraid. And there's nothing more fun than not being afraid. So take this, practice. It's all practice. It's not going to come right away unless you're very lucky or already very mentally aware and conscious. But practice day by day, moment by moment. Notice, oh, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling uncomfortable. This just means I'm having insecure thoughts. I don't need to pay attention to them because they're my imagination. They're not truly what's happening right now. They're not guaranteed to be what's going to be happening if I do this thing or if I say this thing to someone, if I behave this way. So let me rise up. Let me stride forward confidently, assured in myself, and confident in the others around me to also flourish. Thank you very much, Mohawk leaders. I cannot wait to see you, meet you. Please reach out to me. I would love that. It is a joy connecting with people, especially people who love to grow, who love to learn. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful conference. Take all you can from it. It's a truly beautiful gift that Mohawk Student Life is giving you by putting this on. Cherish it and be grateful for it. I'm very grateful for you watching this video. I love you.